today I'm going to share 5 things I would do if I wanted to absolutely ruin my marriage. This is by no means a comprehensive list. I'd love to hear, what you would do if you wanted to ruin your own marriage down in the comments. But these are 5 things that I think are pretty common problems and pretty serious problems that do ultimately erode marriages. Let's get started. Number one thing I would do if I wanted to absolutely destroy my marriage is I would start to take my partner for granted. Meaning I would start not appreciating the things they do, not expressing gratitude. Like in couples, people have chores that are assigned to one person versus the other. If I wanted to ruin my marriage, I would stop sort of thanking my husband for the chores that are his just because I see it as like his duty or something. Taking your partner for granted also means no longer truly seeing them, no longer truly looking at them with love and passion and affection. Like not telling them when you think they look good when they're dressed up for date night. Everyone needs to feel appreciated and desired. If you stop providing that, they might start looking for that elsewhere. Not necessarily that they'll cheat. It might mean they might start leaning on work instead for feeling wanted and needed. And so they might work really late nights and no longer value coming home in time for dinner. Or they might lean more on their friendship with somebody who doesn't really have their best interests at heart instead of consulting with their partner about what they think is best for them. But yeah, also another possibility is that person might try to emotionally or physically cheat if they don't feel desired or wanted, or they're starting to feel taken for granted in the marriage. Number 2, I would stop trying to be my best self because I just assume my partner will always be around. Look, I get it. It's hard, actually impossible, to be your best self 24/7. We all falter sometimes. Life comes up. We are not always on our A game. But you cannot treat the most important people in your life as if they're the least important people in your life. You can't try to put your best foot forward when you're at work, when you're out at the supermarket, and then come home and mistreat the people who are the most important to you. This means don't speak less kindly or less respectfully to your partner than you would to anyone else. Don't slack on the duties that make you a good partner. And yeah, this one might be hard to hear, but also try to put in a little bit effort in your appearance as well. Don't get me wrong, I am very much pajamas at home. Often don't even brush my hair when I'm at home, but sometimes it can help keep the spark alive to just put in a little bit extra effort. Like for date night, dressing up the way you would if this were your first date with your partner instead of your 500th. How would you act with this person if you had just started dating instead of them being somebody that you just assume is always going to be around? Periodically ask yourself, am I being my partner's dream man or dream woman? For example, I know that my husband fell in love with me in large part because he thought I was sweet with him, with other people, with animals. And so when I notice myself getting a little bit more easily annoyed, like in periods of high tension, like right now, we're in the middle of moving across countries, and I know that I'm much more tightly wound than normally. I always try to ask myself this: how would I act if I were my husband's dream woman? To just sort of like recalibrate myself. So in this period of transition, I have very much been reassessing my schedule because of the move, because I think it's a really good time, like when you're moving, to sort of do like a refresh, because it's a new environment and therefore you don't have those old stale associations. And one tool that's really helpful during times like this is Akiflow, the sponsor of today's video. Akiflow is a time blocking tool that helps you maximize productivity and efficiency and minimize procrastination. You can put all of your integrations that you use into it and then just have your schedule mapped out for the day or the week. So let me show you what my schedule is going to look like next week when I'm moving. I put some tasks in here that need to be done before the mover comes. I like to color code it so that my meals are in green because that makes me think of like health and nature and just like free time. If you need to extend how long something's going to take, you can pretty easily do that. If you want to duplicate it for another day, you can also easily do that. And so you can just, transfer it here, for instance. You can add tags or labels. So here I might want to add a tag for moving or a project like the move. And that also changes the color code of it as well. You can prioritize certain tasks. So for instance, if picking up keys on the day of the move is the most important, I can make that my goal for the day, and that really puts it at the forefront. You can chat with Aki, their new AI feature. The daily rituals help you plan for the day or help you shut down for the day. The statistics feature helps you see how you're using your time, how you could use it more efficiently. The command bar can help you do basically anything from anywhere. They also have one-on-one productivity coaching available and an onboarding call when you sign up. So if your schedule, like mine, is looking a little bit crazy right now, I highly recommend Akiflow. It's a great way to map out your schedule and also combine everything that you need to use. Check the link in my description and pinned comment to give it a try. Number 3 thing that I would do if I wanted to destroy my marriage is I would lie a lot. Lying essentially robs your partner of the ability to provide informed consent. We talk about informed consent in research, in therapy. Essentially, it's telling you like, this is what you can expect. These are the risks associated with what you're about to do. If you're not being honest with your partner, you're essentially robbing them of the ability to consent to the risks of being with you. It can be big lies like lying about being in financial debt, for example, or it can be little things like lying about whether you know somebody who is a little too friendly. I'm not talking here about like little fibs that, everyone does quite often throughout the day, like pretending you like a meal someone made a little bit more than you actually did. I'm talking about things that the other person would consider a betrayal if they knew. Common things that people lie about include things they think will make their partner jealous, things they're embarrassed about like financial problems, getting a negative piece of feedback from their boss, an embarrassing health issue, substance use, their past. If you lie enough times, one day you're going to find that your partner is not actually in a relationship with you. They're in a relationship with a version of you that they have inside their head. They're not actually able to consent to an actual relationship with you because they don't know what that entails. If they knew about the risks associated with it, they might not choose to be in that relationship anymore. Number 4 thing I would do to destroy my marriage is I would hold grudges. Conflict is inevitable, but not doing repair work is what truly kills relationships. This doesn't mean you need to pretend everything's okay if you're still hurt about something and you're not in a place where you're willing to forgive yet. What it means is not prolonging the feeling of resentment longer than you need to. If your partner has taken responsibility for a minor rupture, something like, they accused you of doing something, like leaving out something dangerous for your dog, and then once you told them that you weren't the one who did it, they apologized and took responsibility for accusing you of that. Stop beating them over the head, especially over minor things. The best way to ensure that a person never again takes responsibility for something is to make them feel really guilty once they do. Like if somebody comes to you and says, listen, I raised my voice a little bit earlier, I'm sorry. You want to make sure that they never again apologize. Make sure to really drive it home that what you did was so unacceptable and no, I'm not going to forgive you, yada, yada, yada. What can you do instead of letting this resentment linger and holding these grudges over people? Take some time to cool down, and then once you're ready, come back and initiate a moment of affection. So if your partner has already apologized, taken responsibility for whatever small in the moment conflict or rupture happened, and you're feeling like, I'm still not ready, take some space and tell them, I'm not like abandoning you in this moment. I just need some space to cool down. Go for a 20-minute walk around the neighborhood or something. And then once you start to feel a little bit more willing to forgive and to do the repair work, come back, give them a kiss when you come back and say, what should we have for dinner? Don't hold grudges over things that you don't need to. And number 5 thing that I would do to destroy my marriage is I would express contempt. I would make it clear that I view my partner with disdain, lack of respect, that everything about them gives me the ick. Contempt is the number 1 horseman of the apocalypse, according to relationship researcher John Gottman, who is able to predict which couples would break up and which would not with astounding accuracy. Couples that expressed frequent contempt for each other were the ones to most quickly break up. This could be with a facial expression of disgust or hate or disrespect. It could be with harsh words like saying, I can't stand you, or what's wrong with you. It could be through comparisons like saying, well, I would have never done that, or Jenny from accounting is so much kinder to her husband. The moment you have contempt in a relationship, it is very dangerous because contempt signals that there's not a baseline level of respect between the two partners. And respect is one of the major foundations of relationships. Like I talk about in the connection course, it is one of the main pillars that if you don't have one of those ingredients, there's no way the relationship's going to last very long. So in conclusion, if I wanted to really swiftly destroy my marriage, I would do the 5 following things. Take my partner for granted, not be my best self because I assume he'll always be around, lie, hold grudges, and express contempt. Don't forget to check out Akiflow if you're looking for a good time blocking platform. Let me know what you would do if you wanted to destroy your relationship down in the comments, and see you soon.
Tell me what you need.